Coming up on today's show, we're going to talk some recruiting updates here for the Crimson Tide. Alabama offered a new in-state wide receiver yesterday, so we're going to break that down on the first segment of today's show. Also, Steve Wiltfong of On3 dropped an article yesterday about some five-star buzz out there for the Crimson Tide and other teams, but we're pretty much going to stick with the guys related to Alabama here. And also, we're going to just quickly run through some of the official visits that have already been scheduled for the coming months here, for Alabama, because the recruiting has started a little bit slow, but that's kind of how it always starts about this time, right? Really, once you get into the summertime, that's when things really kick off here. So first up, we're going to start off with in-state wide receiver Corey Barber out of Spain Park. Alabama offered him yesterday, and here's the thing about Corey Barber. This kid is unranked for now anyways. He's got 20-plus offers already, including some notable names like Washington, Oregon, Georgia Tech. He already took a visit there. Auburn, Ole Miss, Miami. So just because he's unranked doesn't mean he's not good. I mean, there's a lot of top teams out there who have already offered this kid. He's a very quick, shifty type of wide receiver. Really nice in and out of cuts. His highlight reel on Huddle is just really, really fun to watch. I really enjoyed it. Now, he does have a very good quarterback that makes things look a little bit better sometimes than maybe they are, but I do think he does run some pretty clean routes out there. His quarterback right now, Brock Bradley, he is committed to Clemson in that 2026 class. So definitely throws him some very nice balls to be able to run under, and, some nice back shoulder passes as well. But he's also, got very, very nice, really breakaway speed as well. He just splits defenders sometimes, and he's just absolutely gone. He tiptoes down the sidelines, and you don't even know how he was able to stay in bounds. I really do like this kid, and I hope Alabama's able to get him in their 2026 class. So this is what I want you guys to do. Go over to my Twitter page. That's at Chris Chat Sports. I'll put that link in the comments and the description of today's show as well. Give me a follow over on Twitter and check out my pinned tweet as well. I went ahead and tweeted his highlights over there on my Twitter page. So go over there, check out his highlights, and come back to this video and let me know what you guys think. All right, Corey Barber, man, his junior season just absolutely went off. I don't really know how he has kind of slid under the radar in terms of those recruiting rankings. 74 catches this year, almost 1,500 yards, 18 touchdowns as well. He's listed right now at 6'1", 185, so he's a little bit bigger than a guy like Latsier Brooks, who's about 5'9", 170, but I do feel like he plays the same kind of role in how Kalen DeBoer is trying to build this wide receiver room. And look, it's kind of the same as Latsier Brooks, right? Latsier Brooks was unranked until he got that Alabama offer, and that Alabama offer was like his 17th offer that he got during the process, and he ended up finishing in the top 200 overall. And this is not just a guy that just kind of popped out of nowhere. He's known Alabama. He's taken a couple visits before. Last year, he was at the Georgia game, South Carolina game, the Missouri game as well. And he told Bama Online yesterday that he is a diehard Alabama fan. You got Jalen Mbakwe, Ryan Williams, both hit him up immediately on Instagram. So I definitely do think that Alabama is probably in a pretty good spot for him right now. But there is still definitely going to be a lot of competition for Corey Barber. So let me know here at the pinned comment of today's video, guys, how many wide receivers will Alabama take in their 2026 recruiting class? It's the pinned comment of today's video. So if that ad comes here on YouTube, that's totally fine. You guys can ignore it. Get down there and let me know what you guys think. Steve Wiltfong of On3 also dropped an article yesterday really linking, five-star players to some of these schools, and Alabama had 6 players who are still now of interest that are 5 stars. So let's start off with a few of these guys who Alabama right now might be kind of in the backseat on. You got Immanuel Iheanacho, I believe is how you pronounce his name there. He's number 3 player overall, number 2 offensive tackle in this class. Just a massive human being, the number 1 player as well out of the state of Maryland. You also have the number 1 quarterback in the class, Jared Curtis out of Tennessee. Let's start off with Immanuel Iheanacho right here first. Steve Wiltfong says Oregon right now is his leader, and he also said Oregon is his leader with, the visits that he's taken so far. But Oregon, Georgia, Penn State, Alabama, all teams right now in the running for him. He said also that his recruitment could go until August. So, this could be one that he gets through all of his official visits before he really decides to make a decision there. You also have Jared Curtis, the number one quarterback in this recruiting cycle. Steve Wilfong said right now he also thinks Oregon is the team to beat right now. And I do wonder how the addition of Ryan Grubb can really play into his recruitment because, when he was here on his official visit to Alabama, or on a visit anyways, I'm not sure if it was official or unofficial, but I don't believe Ryan Grubb was on the staff at that point yet. So it'll be interesting to see how Ryan Grubb can kind of shift the recruitment for Jared Curtis there. You also have 5-star safety Blaine Bradford. Remember, all these guys that we're talking about right now are all 5 stars. So I went ahead and put their size that they're listed at right now on their 247 sports page anyways. He is the number 1 safety in this 2026 recruiting class, number 16 player overall. Steve Wilfong right now has him predicted to LSU, but you also have Oregon, Ohio State, Alabama, and Notre Dame also in the mix for him there. So we're just going to have to see, kind of how things shake up for him. Also want to give a shout out to our friends over at Fanatics. You guys can get 50% off Alabama hoodies right now just by going to chatsports.com/CFB hoodies. They've got hoodies, they've got sweatshirts, quarter zips, everything else like that. Click the link over there. There should be a clickable link over there in the corner. And you guys can get up to 50% off right now just by going to chatsports.com/CFB hoodies. Let's look at a couple more names here that Alabama might be a little bit more in the running. You got Tristen Keys, one of the top wide receivers in this class, and Bandon Arrington. They've got him listed right now as the number 1 athlete, but Alabama is recruiting him more as a cornerback. For Tristen Keys, this is a tight one right now, Steve Wilfong said, between Alabama, Miami, and Tennessee. Right now, Wilfong has Tennessee slightly ahead of Alabama and Miami, but those two teams are right there in the mix as well. Bandon Arrington, Alabama might be the leader for him after his junior day visit, and there's meaningful connections there with Mater Dei High School. You got Damani Jackson, Xavier Brown, Chuck McDonald, all alumni of Mater Dei High School. So you've got that connection there. That is a very positive thing. That pipeline, Mater Dei to Alabama, especially DBs, has really been notable here last couple recruiting classes anyways. Texas A&M, Oregon, USC are also some other teams to watch for him. Then you've also got Anthony Jones, the number 1 player in the state of Alabama right now. He actually went up a little bit in the rankings as well. I think he was like around 18 or something like that overall, up to number 11 now. Number 1 edge in this 2026 recruiting class. Steve Wilfong said this is going to be the hardest one to predict. He said he's going to go with Alabama right now, knowing that Auburn, Texas A&M, Florida, Miami, Oregon, Vanderbilt are all some of those other teams that he really likes as well. But this is definitely one of Alabama's top priorities in this recruiting cycle. And look, this would just be a massive, massive in-state win for Alabama, getting the number 1 player in the state of Alabama, especially after last year. You kind of, didn't have the best in-state recruiting class. Make sure you guys are subscribed right here to the Alabama Football Report. We got a sub battle right now for the month of February against our Ohio State Football Report. Kind of getting our asses beat right now. So help me out, help yourself out. Stay up to date on all things Alabama football related. Also going to be doing some Alabama basketball videos as well. So stay up to date on all Alabama news and rumors out there. Hit that sub button for me right now. All right, now we're going to look at some official visits that have now been scheduled here for the Crimson Tide here in the next couple of months. You got Nolan Wilson, number 12 defensive lineman out of the state of Mississippi. And then you got Bear McWhorter. We talked about him yesterday. Interior offensive lineman out of the state of Georgia. Bear is going to be setting his commitment date for February 28th. So we'll see kind of how his official visits change or anything like that. But for right now, both of these guys are going to be visiting from May 30th to June 2nd. And remember, for all of these guys, more guys are going to visit than just, 2 on that specific weekend. So as we're going through these, just kind of remember that it's not going to be 2 or 1 or 5 or whatever. It's probably going to be more guys as well. Going over to June 6th through the 8th, you've got Trenton Henderson, Caden Prothro. I think he's another guy, Caden Prothro, that you could probably add into that wide receiver, prediction, if you will, for a pin comment, because he is the number 2 tight end right now, but I do think he kind of fits that same mold as like a Caleb Odom does for Kalen DeBoer and this offensive staff for Alabama. Kamari Brooks, the number 11 edge in this class as well. Darrell Bell, he's the number 26 safety, so kind of we'll see what happens for him there, but and you also have Kamarian Johnson as well. All of those guys are going to be visiting from June 6th to June 8th. Also want to make note, Darrell Bell right now is committed to FSU, so you're going to have to do some work if you want to get him in this class. Going over to June 13th through the 15th, right now you only have one player scheduled for an official visit. That is Caden Hall, another safety in this class, number 115 overall. He's a 4-star as well, out of the state of Florida. And then rounding out the official visits here, June 20th through June 22nd, you got E.J. Crowell. Remember, he ended up reclassifying from that 2027 class. He was the number 1 running back in that class to the 2026 class. Obviously, you're going to drop a little bit in the rankings. Number 12 running back right now in the class. Still top 10 player in the state of Alabama. You also have Caden Harris. We talked about him a couple of days ago as well. Number 14 cornerback, number 4 player out of the state of Tennessee. And I believe this kid's name is pronounced Hezi Kent. Sorry if it's not, but that is just an all-class name right there. And I hate to break it to you, but you're playing the wrong sport if that is how you pronounce, if that's how he pronounces his name. Should be a point guard playing basketball, but one of the better offensive tackles in this class. And then you got Immanuel Ruffin as well. Not currently ranked right now, but definitely another guy. You see Freddie Roach right there standing next to him. He's a very big kid. Alabama would love to get him along the defensive line in this 2025 or 2026 class. Excuse me.